Okay, and we're back. Okay, so let's see here. We have these two tests that are now that are now passing. Okay, so now I want to add some more tests, right? So I'm green, I've refactored. Now I want to go back to red. Okay, so I want to go back to the assignments. Okay, here's the command line. What's the next simplest piece of functionality that I could test? Any ideas? What would you guys test in this situation? I mean, ultimately what I want is when I have this command line, when I put in that command line, I should get this piece of code. And you know, I could code up a unit test for that, but I think it's going to be a while before it's going to pass. But you know what? That's sort of the goal that I'm aiming for. So you know what? I'm just going to let me just do that. Okay, so let's see here. Test. Oops. Public void. What do I want to call it? Example command line from assignment prints the right thing. Oops. Okay. So, oh my goodness, what do I need to do? I need to, so it's these command line arguments right here. So I want to say invoke main, but this invoke main, you know what? It doesn't take any arguments. So what I really want to do is I want to send it this thing, and then mail, and then I want the string 3.64. I want the string algorithms. I want the string that. I want the string operating systems, and the string Java. And it doesn't have this. This method does not exist. That's why it's complaining. So there is a sort of a autocorrect, which I don't even know what the menu is. But I know that it's option return. And so let's see here. It's change signature to invoke main to take all those guys. No, I think what I really want is I want a new method. Actually, no. You know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change invoke main to take an optional list of arguments, and then pass it along to that invoke main. Because invoke main, if you look at its parameters, which you can get by command P, it actually takes the name of a class and a bunch of optional arguments. So this will invoke the main of student of the class with these arguments. So I'm going to invoke the main here. Oh, I need to store this into a variable, which, you know, main method result MMR result equals this. Oops, what doesn't it like here? Oh, oops, it just like deleted it. Not smart. Come on, babies. No. MMR, main method result equals main method that. Good. And now what do I want to say? I want to say that running the main command line should result in the following output. I believe that should be the standard out. So I'm going to say assert that. And by the way, assert that and friends are part of that Hamcrest API. I'm not going to go into details about that here, but Hamcrest is just this library that works really well with JUnit to give you more advanced assertions. So I'm going to say that result.getOut for standard out contains string. Actually, I'm just going to say, yeah, I'm going to say contains string this big ugly thing right here. With like over 2 lines and everything. Oh, okay. So here's something. I'm going to make it a little smaller for you so it all fits on the screen. IntelliJ is nice about cutting and pasting strings. You see what I did there? I highlighted all of this and copied it. When I pasted it in, it did things like it put it inside double quotes, and it even went in, there was a new line, I guess, in it, which I really don't want. Operating systems, it did things like split it over 2 lines with a plus. It escaped those double quotes in it. That's super nice of it. Not It was everything I wanted. This is just too much string here. I'm going to I don't want to. I think the code reads kind of difficult like this. So what I want to do is I want to move this into a variable. So I can highlight it. And I can say refactor extract variable. So option command V. And I want to call it just expected. There we go. It's a little bit more readable. Okay. Now, so now I'm going to try to run this. So Control Shift F10. Oh, it's thinking about it. It's taking a long time about it. Okay, IntelliJ, what are you doing? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I ran it, and it expected that big ugly string, but guess what? It was empty. Well, that's absolutely correct, because it's not implemented yet. But in order to implement all of this, I have to do a lot of functionality. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to @ignore this test, which basically means, hey, this test is there, but you know what? Don't try to run it right now because I'm not ready for it. So this is like ultimately where we want to go, right? We want to get all that functionality there, but we got some pieces parts to build first. Okay, so let's see here. That's sort of the goal. And you know what? Let's check this stuff in. Look at my changes. I'm going to commit, and it's going to be like added unit test for the end functionality. Okay. Now, you know, these two tests were kind of about command line parsing, and I'm going to continue down that road for a little bit. I think that'll help me get closer to where I want to go. So let's see here. How about, let's look at the command line again here in the assignment. So like what happens if I only have the Dave argument? So what should happen in that case? What would you expect? So so really if I only have Dave, I'm missing the gender. So missing gender does what? What? If I just have Dave, so it has the name but it doesn't have the rest of this. So let me does something. So let me show you the command line. Main method result equals. So if I invoke main and all I give it is Dave, what should I expect to have happen? Is it command line? Let's have something more specific. Let's say let's aim for the moon. Let's say missing. What's next? Gender is missing. Male. So missing gender. Okay, prints missing gender. So how are we going to represent that in the assertion? And say prints gender to standard error. Let me make it a little bigger so you guys can see it. It's probably getting a little small now.
So the point is to check what error output is.
Yeah.
So the string that you would expect there.
So that contains string in which we have it say missing gender. Okay, so let's run this guy. Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I got 2 semicolons here, and look, IntelliJ even highlights it and says, "Oh, unnecessary colon, semicolon." Good to know. That was just a warning. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a little messy. So they told me to clean it up, and I did. Maybe compiler warning at best. Yeah.
Used to C.
Oh, is that an error? I guess it is. Is it an error in C?
Imagine if you did it in C, like
Probably. Yeah, right. Yeah, you would get a jump protection fault in blue screen. Oh boy, that dates me. Anyway, okay, so I ran it, and it said, okay, I expected a string containing missing gender, but I got, missing command line arguments. 2 true. Okay. So, okay, now it's red. Let's go make it green. So let's go back to our main method. What do we need to do here? So I think someone was talking about the length of the array. So yeah, so if args.length equals 1, so we've only got 1, we should say system.error.println missing gender.
It is kind of fancy, but aren't you sort of assuming that they know which order to be putting their args in then?
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right. And if you think about like your assignment, I realize that now the student assignment doesn't have the nice detail that like the Project 2 assignment did. I should probably go back and fix that and sort of have that same command line output. But you kind of have to, right? Let me go reopen the.
What if they entered gender? Like, what if that was all they entered? You would get that same error, and then it would say.
Well, I mean, how would you know it was gender? I think you sort of have to assume that the first argument is the name, right? And like if you look at your appointment 2, that's what it is, right? The args in this order. The first one's owner, the second one's description, then begin time, then end time. Otherwise, how do you know, right? I think so. There has to be a pattern there, right? Right, and then you have to make the first assumption. Yeah. So, yep.
Should we include that in the README, like that whole usage section?
We totally should. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. As a matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do. Let's make a note to have a test for that. So public void. What should we call it? Invalid command line. Prints usage information. Let's come back to that. So I'm going to make a note of it that, hey, we need to go back and do that, but I'm not quite ready to, because my head is in this other one right now. Okay, so if I've only got Dave, then it should be missing gender. So if args.length equals 1, it should be missing gender. And I will, it's bad command line, so I want to do a system.exit1. Okay, so let's go back and run my test again. Oops. It's passing, yay. Now let's go back and run all of my tests to see if they're still passing. Okay, oh, so it's telling me that all these are passing. This one has this like yellow and has some lines through it, means that it's ignored. That's cool. Okay, good. So now I've got it so that when I'm missing gender, missing gender prints missing gender, standard error. Okay, good deal. Okay, I've got things running. I'm going to checkpoint it. Unit test for missing gender.
Is it pushing those automatically to the repo for you, or is it just not pushing?
This is so I skipped over I went really fast. I'm not going to GitHub. I just have a local repository, so there's really no remote repository to push to. But yes, so the reason I don't even know well, let's see what happens when you try to push it. So go off and commit it. 4 warnings. Oh, what was the 4th warning? Wait a second. This is new. Oh, it's warning me that I've got this thing. That's cool. Let's go commit it again. Commit and push. Commit. And can't push because there's no remotes defined. Yep, there you go. There you got it. Okay. Yeah, it's too bad it's not smart enough to figure that out. But anyway. Okay. Now, invalid command line prints usage information. Okay, so what do we expect here? What's an example of invalid command line? So if I invoke main with what? Okay, like none. All right, there you go, none. Okay, and so then, okay, what do I expect to happen in that case? What do I want to do? Okay, well, I've already got that up here. So this is like, I want to make sure that there's usage information. So what do I want the usage information to look like? Like that whole thing, yeah? Well, let's see here. Now this is for project 2, so let's make up some usage information for the other one. I guess it just sort of like look like this. Args are. Well, okay, so let's just. Okay, well, let's have expected. I'm going to create that variable. And what am I going to say? I'm going to say, actually, let's start here. I'm going to say args are in this order. Oops, new line. What are they? Name, gender, name, gender, GPA and classes. GPA, classes. Okay. Oh, it doesn't need to make this a test.
So are you going to call this every time the other test case comes into play?
I'm going to call what?
Are you going to, so like with the invalid gender, do you then want to also sort of wrap these together?
Oh, so you're saying, yeah, I mean, I've got lots of tests that deal with invalid command lines. Should I validate that the usage information is printed with them too?
Yeah.
I could. Let's come back to that in a second after we get this. Yeah. Because I you know what? I think we should. As a matter of fact,
And that would be pretty simple. Just throw your variable all the way out, and then just concatenate it in the contained string, whatever missing gender plus.
yeah, we could. Or okay, yeah, that's awesome. So great. So let's come back to that because that's the refactor stage. So let's get this test to pass first, and then we'll come back to that. Remind me to come back to that. Actually, if I was doing this for real, I would make a little note that says, hey, come back and refactor that. Okay, so let's run this dude, see that it fails. Yep, totally. And so, okay, what do we need to do here to make this pass? Boy, you guys are really on to something with this like big ugly string thing. I don't think I want to be careful. I don't want to copy all of this. Well, you know what? Shoot. In the spirit of refactoring, let's copy it, and then we'll go back. Okay, so this is saying, okay, when there are no command lines, it's going to print this big ugly string. So I'm going to copy this big ugly string. Oops, I'll go back to student. And I'm going to say, okay, great, when there are 0 missing command line arguments before, well, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to say system.error.println print line, big ugly string. Oops, not the semicolon. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, it passes. Okay, red, green, refactor. Holy mackerel, we got a lot of refactor. So like we copied this string here from there. I don't like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that into a field here in this class. Oh, I'm going to do actually a couple of things. Well, no, wait. Okay, first I'm going to introduce a field for this, which go up into refactor and say extract field. I want to call it usage message. Initialize in field declaration. Okay, so I did that. And here again, I can command mouse over it to go open that. Oh, good. It even made it. Okay, it made it static because it was using a static method. It made it final because it's smart enough to know I used all caps, so it made it final. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so now I've got that. I made that change. Let's quick go rerun our tests. Make sure I haven't broken anything. Okay. Okay, I want to use that same now, and so I want expected to be, I don't want this anymore. What do I want that to be? I want it to be student dot, what do I call it? Usage info. And why doesn't it like it? Let's see here. Cannot resolve symbol usage. Well, I thought I called it usage info. Oh, usage man. Okay, usage.
How are you accessing fields? How are you accessing fields from student class and the test class? Aren't those
Actually, I'm not, right? It's saying it has private access. Oh, yeah, right, I can't. But okay, help me, IntelliJ, you're my only hope. I'm going to Alt-Enter, and it's like, okay, create constant. Well, oh, okay, wait a second. I can change, I can promote the visibility here. Because student and student test are in the same package, I can make usage message package protected. So now if I go to it, instead of being private final, it's now default visibility. It's package level. This is exactly what I want, right? This is okay. This is good that I have now a message in the, or I have this field in the student class, or and that's package protected because now our package access, whatever it's called. So now it's in the same package here. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So again, I'm like coming from sort of a C background.
Yep.
So like with that, I would think I would do like a pound define or something like that. Because this is sort of the job that.
Right. Instead of a pound define, it's a static final is the same thing as it's a constant, right? Okay. Yeah, pound define. Good.
But everything is going to be defined in the class. There's no way to like take that out of a class.
There's no preprocessor. There's no there's no scope that isn't in class. You can't have a field that's outside of a class. Everything's in the class. Yeah. How are we doing on time? 18 minutes. Good. Okay, cool. We've got usage messages. Okay. Let me run it again. How's everything going? Awesome. Okay. Oops, get rid of that. Okay. You know what? Now that I don't have like this big ugly string anymore, I don't think I need this expected variable. I want to get rid of it. And I can do a refactor, and I can say inline, which will take the value of this variable and replace the usages of that variable with the value of the variable. So I can say here again refactor inline, oops, which is option command N. Oops, and it tells me, hey, do you want to inline the one local variable? Yes, I do. Cool, and now I've got that, much easier to read. Okay. Okay, so cool. I'm just paranoid. I'm going to run it one more time. And it says that's good. You know what? I'm also feeling kind of paranoid, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them all. Which can I just do that easily up here? Student test. Yeah, there you go. Can I run that? How's that doing? Does everything work there? Okay, cool. Now, let's play with this a little bit more. One of you guys mentioned that it's like, hey, wait a second. All of whenever you have a bad command, an invalid command line, we should be we should be checking to make sure the usage information is printed out. So instead of having like a separate test for each one of those guys, let's just copy this and just put it in all of these all these methods that have bad command lines.
Better than just abstracting out. Can you call it test from another test?
That's a good point. You can.
Or just define like a separate method.
Hey, that's a good idea. No. I like that. Okay, because you're right. I mean, boy, your instincts, the force is strong in you, young Padawan. Yeah, he's like, wait a second, you just copied code 3 times. What the hell? What kind of refactoring mode are we in if we're copying the code 3 times? Good point. Yeah, I like it. Okay, well, I just copied the code 3 times. I'm going to run my tests. Oh, something failed. So, what failed here? Missing gender prints, missing gender standard out, and it doesn't contain the usage message, and that's absolutely right because we, if we go back to main, oops, I don't like that feature of, there we go. Scroll, there we go. Right, we only print the usage message when in this branch. So we also need to print it up here. Now let's go back and run student test. Okay, now everybody's passing. Okay, so we were red, now we're green. Refactor, and boy, do we have stuff to refactor. First, let's look at this code. Boy, this code is like exactly the same, right? Let's turn this into a method. So we're going to use that extract method again on the refactor menu. Let's go and show it to you again. Refactor extract method. Oh wait, that's not what I want. Okay, because look at, I mean, this code is almost the same as this code except for this message right here. So I'm just going to introduce a variable. I'm going to call it message, or really like error message maybe. Then I'm going to take this code, I'm going to extract a method, and look, it creates a parameter to that method called error message. I'm going to say, what? Print error message and exit. That's essentially what it does. And by the way, this is going to be a private method. Uncle Bob talks about how the names of private methods should be really long, right? The private methods, they're not part of your API, right? They should be really long and descriptive. And even though I told you guys that you should be writing comments for all your code, Uncle Bob says, and I agree that once you get to a certain maturity, it's okay for you to do this, that you don't need to write comments if you have nice descriptive names for things. So in like a lot of the code that I write these days, I just have long, really big names. So I went and I created that method from that bunch of code, and hey, look, IntelliJ says IDEA has hit one code fragment in this file that can be replaced with a call to the extracted method would I to review and replace them. Would I ever? Because here again, it's that same code again. Awesome. Okay, and it was even smart enough to know to extract the message. And oh look, I don't need this guy anymore. I'm going to inline that variable. Oh, so much better, right? And here's the method that was extracted down here. Ah, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to rerun tests again. I'm refactoring. Hey, everything's passing. Okay, we refactored our source code. Now let's go back and look at our test code. Because, yeah, look, we've got a bunch of like really ugly code.
Don't you do that with the other branch?
The other branch, sorry? Back here?
Yeah.
I did.
On the oh.
That was the duplicate code that IntelliJ detected. Yeah. No, it's good. Okay. So yeah, here, like, look at this. I've got, all sorts of things. And you know what? Check this out. You know, we duplicated this usage message thing here, but this method, well, let's see, like when I am missing a gender, I also want to assert that the exit code is equal to 1. So you know what? I really want this everywhere too. I want this down here, and let's face it, I want this here. And these both have the same invoke main, right? So now these, I'm going to run these two, and they should pass. Yeah, they still pass and everything. But I'm starting to see more and more duplicate code, right? I see dead code. And so, like, really, these two tests are the same thing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to do the following. I'm going to do my little extract thing again. I'm going to extract a variable, and I'm going to call it error message. I'm going to move it up a line. Oops. And I'm going to, this is now duplicate code here and here. I'm going to extract a method for it. And I'm going to say, actually, shoot, what should I call it? What should I call this?
Test exit and error.
Yeah. Like that. Actually, I'm going to call it assert. Error message exit code and usage. Why not? Right? I got it's a private method. I got the space. They're paying me by the character that I type. So, and notice that it takes a result and an error message. Oh, look, detected. Yes, and their code fragment can be replaced. Oh, look at that. Move this up here. Oops. Move that up there. Oh, wow. My code is just like so much shorter now. There's a lot less duplication. Oh, it didn't get the... Oh, well, I can just inline this now. But you know what? I kind of like having that error message there. It makes it more readable. So instead I'm going to extract a variable right here. I'm going to call it error message. That's nice and readable, don't you think? Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, let's run it again. Ah, gorgeous! Everything's passed. Okay, and look, I've actually like eliminated a test. Right, I had redundant tests in there. I've cleaned it up. That is super awesome. Okay. How are we doing on time? Another 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, well, let me commit that. What the heck did we just do? It seems like it's been like 15 minutes since our last commit. I'm here at Git Confessional. Isn't it? Anyway, what have I done here? Oh, no, it's too small. I can't read it. Well, let's see here. We added this. Oh, and by the way, sorry, what did I just do there? This is when you should say, David, what did you just do? I'm taking my remote. I'm telling you to stop. Okay, so I went to the Changes tab. It's telling me what's changed since the last time I committed to Git. And what I hit was Command D, just out of from muscle memory, which is show diff. And so now what IntelliJ is telling me is it's showing me, okay, what changes have I made? So like this green stuff is here, is stuff I've added. I added usage message. And oh yeah, I did some refactoring here. Is that really all I did was just refactoring? Maybe. Okay. And this will let me go to the next file. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I moved some code around, so it doesn't exactly help me. But you know what? I think I didn't add a new test case. As a matter of fact, I got rid of one. But all I did was refactor. Okay. How to describe this refactoring? Well, refactored to eliminate duplicate code. So that's what I'll commit it as. Refactored to eliminate duplicate code. 3 warnings. Yeah. Oh, but I got rid of 1 warning. That's good. Okay. Okay. What's next? Well, you know, shoot. What time is it? 8:20. Got another 10 minutes. Let's just go through one more. Let's go through a missing GPA. Just real quick to see if it's any easier now that we've got all this refactoring. So, well, let's just start. Okay, so at test. So public void missing GPA print. Oh, missing GPA, right? GPA to standard error. Oops. Okay, so what needs to happen here?
Invoke main and you forget the GPA.
Okay, so invoke main. So let's see here. So I need a name. I need a gender. Know this, okay. Well, let's see here. It's going to look something. I'm just going to cut and paste. What the heck? Okay, so what should the error message be? GPA. Yeah. Okay, let's run it. I'm red. Okay. Oh, look, it's telling me here's all the other stuff that was there. Missing command line arguments. Okay, so that's good. Now I need okay, missing GPA. So let's add missing GPA. So what do we need to do? What do I want to do here? Print error. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll back up. Here's what I did. I said, okay, I want to call print error message and exit. So I started typing print, and it's prompting me for all the different things. I got this far, and I hit tab to complete, and then missing GPA. Okay, let's run it again. Oh, I got missing different capitalization. Ah, really good. Okay, so okay, go change the capitalization. See, I don't like that. Man, my test has to like have that same string in there. I want a constant. Oops, not variable. Field, option command F. And I want to call it missing GPA. Yay. And now over here, actually, wait a second. This guy I don't want to be private anymore. Oops. I want a student test. I want this just to be student.missing GPA. Now let's try it. Woohoo! I'm green. Let's run all of them. Oops. No, let's run all of them. Still green. Right on. Okay. So let's quick commit that. Oops. And added tests for missing GPA. Right on. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. What's next? Classes. Oh, we got one more test in us. Okay. So, okay, what happens if you're missing classes?
That's something that necessarily needs to be. Is that necessary to have classes?
I don't know. Well, let's see here. Missing classes does what? Well, as it. So let's see here. As it turns out, let's look at the this documentation here for the student class. Okay, the names of classes students taking. A student may take 0 or more classes. Okay. So missing classes does what? What should happen if there's no classes?
If they can take 0 or more, shouldn't there be no throw exceptions for having no entry?
Okay, so I like that. So like throws no exception. Okay, works. Yeah. Well, but we're going to test. We just can't say assert works. So we have to test something, right? So let's see here. How about prints nothing to standard error?
Yeah.
Sound good? Yeah.
You also exit with 0, your system with a 0.
Yeah. And exits 0. And
Exists.
yeah, thank you.
And that's really, like, honestly, a method name that you would create.
Yeah.
Wow.
But doesn't it tell you exactly what it does?
Yeah,
Right? I mean, so that's the trade-off. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so much, but oh, I know exactly what that does. Well, gee whiz.
It hurts a part of me just to see a method name that long.
Okay, but no, that's a good point, right? It's like, okay, but it's like, what's a better name for it?
Yeah, no.
No, but seriously though, it's like that's what you gotta be thinking. It's like, okay, what's
It makes it so it's it's not like you're in a command line where you have to keep on typing that whole thing out. Whereas this, you start typing it and then it pops up.
right? Yeah, you've got autocomplete and things like that. And your test methods, not like anyone else is going to call them, And actually, that's back to that point before. What Uncle Bob says about private versus public methods. So, like for instance, says is a public method. It should be short for that exact reason. It's like some other code is going to call it. But private methods, like this, print error message and exit, right? It's like 20 characters, 30 characters. And that's okay, because it's private. So maybe it'll get called within the same class. But here again, you've got the IDE to navigate easily between them and things like that. So it's like leveraging your tools. The tools let you spend more time writing code and less time writing comments. They'll just get out of date and things like that. No, that's really good. Okay, so missing class prints nothing to standard error and exits 0. Okay, well then. We should be able to do this. So let's see here. We're going to invoke our main. And what are we going to invoke it with? Okay. And it says the string 3.64. And so now, okay, what do we want to assert? Result.get error equals, I'm not sure. It might be empty string, or maybe it's null. Let's find out. Oops, result. And exits 0. So assert that result.getExit code. Oops, get exit code equal to 0. Okay, let's run it. See what we get. Whoa, let's see here. Expected nothing but was missing command line arguments. Okay, so it printed missing command line arguments in the usage. Well, that ain't right. Let's go back to the student. Okay, so if args.length equals 1, then print args.length is 0. Okay, so I think it was getting down here, right? Because args.length was 3. We had 3 command line arguments. Okay, well, we should fix this then. This is really, we should only be printing this. Well, let's see here. Nope. Time. What should we do here?
Maybe put another else if in there. In element.
Yeah, another else. That would work. Remember, this is just the green, right? We can go back and refactor it later. It's like, okay, just get it to work, prove that, you basically prove that it will fail, prove that it will work, and then make it prettier and make sure it still works. Okay, so let's just do that. I like that.
Well,
Yep.
that will.
Oh, sorry, wait, it won't?
Wouldn't you have to do it else if args length
Yeah, totally. You're right.
less than 5, 4?
What do you want to do?
Oh,
This is equals 0, actually. What if we use a case statement here? What do you want to do? Honestly, I don't know. Let's see here. Really, we want missing command line arguments to be printed with all of these. We don't really test that, do we? We don't test it. You know what? This is going to work. It's going to be ugly. We can fix it later. See, I want to take a break too. Maybe we're done for tonight. I don't know. Oops. Still doesn't like it. Expected 0, but was null. Okay, so we got further. Let's go back. Let's figure out. Sorry, this is so hard to read. Let's see what student test. Okay, so expected the exit code to equal 0, but instead it got null. Well, that's true because we don't ever exit. We don't call system.exit, right? So this is should be system.exit 0. Hey, everything's passing. Okay. Okay. What time is it? It's 8:30. We started at 6:30. Do you guys have some more in you, or you know what? It's Independence Day. I think we should end here. Okay. Well, let me just check it in, and let's say a couple of concluding words, and then that can be enough for tonight. We'll pick it up next week. All right, okay. Okay. So what did we do here? We added test for well, shoot, what was it?
The GPA.
Yeah, 3 valid command line arguments. Right. Sweet. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, so I mean, like, okay. So, like, what did we just do for like the last hour or whatever it was? We wrote some code, but we use test-driven development, and so think about the way that we approach the code. We first of all, it's like, hey, we're trying to get something very small to work. Like, okay, just one little piece of command line validation, and so then we wrote a test for it. We saw it fail, and then we changed our student class to make it pass. We saw it was passing, and then we looked for places to make our code better, refactoring. So we eliminated duplicate code, we extracted, and so the duplicate code, duplicate strings, and we just moved things around until it looked better and felt better. That's that last step in there. And once we did that, I hope you saw that it was easier to then add more tests that were similar, because now we had all these methods that we could reuse. And we with that same red-green refactor, and then we're building up this suite of tests that we run every time before we commit, and we make sure that everything works. So anyway, cool. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of enjoyed this. I thought this was fun, and so we'll try it some more again next week. I'm also well, I probably won't get to a screencast, a real screencast, not just from the class, on this this coming week. But maybe in the future I'll finish it off so you can watch the rest of it at home. Yeah.
I just the Git, like when you set it up, maybe if you could get something on that.
I do. Yeah, this is for local. Yes, the one of the screencasts. Which one is it? It's there's the let me. Sorry. No, I'm always doing that. YouTube It's this thing. So here in the playlist, if you go to the SCM with Git and GitHub, that's where I'd like you to start. And that will show you how to, well, it'll walk you through some things. You'll do a lot of reading on your own to sort of get your GitHub set up and everything like that. But give that a try. Here again, not required for the class, but boy, I recommend it. I hope you're seeing this. Like you have this nice cadence where it's like red, green, refactor, commit, red, green, refactor, commit. And here again with that commit, what Git allows you to do is, well, you can do things like view your history and stuff like that. Where's Git? Show history. So like here are all the changes I made and things like that. And so like if you ever, let's say that you start writing something and you realize that, oh my gosh, it's like totally awful or whatever. You can do things like revert from here to revert it, or you can also maybe you've written some real code or whatever. You can look in your changes and you can right click and just say roll back, and it'll say, hey, do you want to roll back to what's in your repository? And you say yes. And poof, there you go. So yeah, so if you get down a path, and I'm sure that'll happen to me at some point, where hey, we'll be refactoring or whatever, and it's like, oh, this is wrong. You sort of it stops feeling good anymore. You just want to go back to a stable state, git revert, and it's stable because you ran all your tests before you checked in. So yeah.
Also a nice log to have the work that you've done.
Yep.
You do weekly stand-ups or something like that.
Yeah, to know, and a way of communicating and leaving little breadcrumbs for yourself on how things work. Okay. Well, great. Hey, thank you very much for coming to class tonight. Let's see here. Next week, there's a quiz that's due before class, and also your first project. And I would encourage you to try this test-driven development thing out. And let me know how it goes. I'm really interested in what your experiences are with that. Okay. Thanks. Hey, have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Stay cool. And look forward to talking to you on the Google Plus, and see you next week in class. Thanks.